Hello, everyone. So, I just wanted to hop on here and talk a little bit about the subject of accountability, and what that really means. Accountability is super, super important. So, I feel like a lot of us, when we think of accountability, we think of blaming ourselves, shaming ourselves, feeling a lot of guilt and internal suffering due to horrible things we've done, failures we've done to ourselves, failures we've done to others. And yes, accountability is part of your shadow work. So you do have to look at all the nasty stuff. You do have to look at all the painful things that you've been suppressing that you'd probably rather not look at. So you do have to look at, maybe you overreacted. Maybe you lost control of your anger. Maybe you were selfish. Maybe you were petty. Maybe you were vengeful, jealous, insecure. Maybe you did something in spite of someone. Maybe you purposely hurt someone's feelings. Maybe you stole something. Anything and everything there is, you have to look at it. And what you'll find, though, is instead of just seeing the actions you took, you have to acknowledge all of those actions you took. Acknowledge the hurt that you caused yourself and that you caused to others. But the next step is to dig even a little deeper and identify why you're losing control of your anger, why you're jealous, why you wanted to hurt someone's feelings, why you were selfish, why you were petty. You have to look at the why behind it, the deeper root there. And I think all of us will come to find something very similar between all of us, that the things that cause us to do things that we wish we didn't do tend to be based in fear, low self-esteem, low self-worth, pain, suffering, hurt, fear of not having enough, fear that you're not good enough. Really, basically, most of it comes down to fear. And sitting there and feeling all this guilt and shame and blame and hatred towards yourself for your actions isn't going to heal you. And it isn't going to make you be able to be of any service or value to other people. When we get into that beating ourselves up cycle, just filled with tons of guilt and shame, that's a really, really nasty frequency to be in. And that doesn't do anyone any justice. Doesn't do you any justice. You can't let your mistakes defeat you. We are all human. We are all capable of doing really heinous things. We all are suffering from the same sickness of being born into this world in this illusion, not knowing what the is going on. We're all being forced ideas upon us since the day we're born. We're being told how to think, how to feel, what to say, what not to say, how to be, how not to be. This is right, this is wrong. We're brainwashed. And a lot of that brainwashing is totally against our own intuition and our own gut feeling. So yeah, we're all kind of put into this situation. What I'm getting at is we need to learn compassion for ourselves and say, yeah, you know what? I did grow up that way. I did learn very unhealthy relationship patterns. I do have a lot of fear around this or that. I do feel attracted to these kind of toxic relationship patterns. I do feel insecure and jealous because I didn't get the love and affection and attention that I needed growing up. Yeah, sometimes when I lose control of my anger because I have a dysregulated nervous system. I don't know how to pause. I don't know how to breathe when I'm upset. I don't know how to express myself in a healthy way. So it's all about really digging deep and just keep digging. And you got to feel those feelings. It takes a strong person to be willing to sit with their own pain, to sit with their own discomfort without masking it, and let the feelings simply be felt. The only way out is through. You can't just stuff them down and suppress them. You can't just run away from them forever. Just feel them. You're not going to die from feeling your feelings. It's going to hurt. It's going to be painful, especially when it comes to grief. But you got to feel it. And you can feel it. We're built for this. We're made for this. To feel all of these complex and difficult emotions. But our body is meant, as we feel them and we can process them and we can then release them and heal from the wounds that created that pain. And accountability is about looking at the real truth, not just the mistakes you made, not the actions you took when you were in a dark place. You figure out, why am I in a dark place? Why am I doing things that I don't want to do? Why am I reacting in ways that I'm not proud of? Why do I keep repeating the same mistakes over and over and over, even though logically I know it's wrong and I don't want to be that way anymore? So you gotta get to the root. And that root tends to be your wounded inner child who's been hurt, who's been scared, who didn't have their needs provided for, who wasn't comforted, who wasn't taught how to regulate. And you parent your inner child yourself. And you teach yourself how to do all the things that, ideally your parents would have been able to teach you. But your parents also were born into this crazy, messed up place. Being forced ideas upon them of how to parent. And they never probably got to heal themselves. So let's have a little compassion for everyone. So as we start to be more compassionate towards ourselves, as we start to see the truth behind the behavior, that, I'm not a bad person. I'm not bad. I'm a human, and I'm reacting in ways that any human would, had the human gone through what I've been through. And the only way to get better, to change these behaviors, these patterns, is to look at it and feel it and have compassion. Have so much compassion and love and acceptance for yourself. Love your past self, your current self so unconditionally. You take ownership of your mistakes. You take ownership of your behavior. You apologize where it's necessary and where it's needed. You do what you have to do to mend broken relationships, if that's what needs to happen. You speak your truth. You say, hey, I was wrong for that. I did this because of X, Y, and Z. I did this because I was scared. I did this because, and I see now that I was in the wrong for that. And you look at yourself in the mirror and you say the same thing. You know what? I was in the wrong for that. But you know what? I still love you. I love every single part of you. Good days, bad days, mistakes. I love you. And I see the real you, that you're not a bad person, that you're just learning. So once you learn to have this compassion for yourself, this forgiveness, and this unconditional love for yourself, you start to have it for other people too. Because once you start to know and understand yourself, you start to realize that nobody is really that different from you. And maybe they're also going through something, and they're scared, and they're hurt, and they're confused, and they're lost, and they're, So once we learn how to be unconditionally loving and forgiving and patient with ourselves, we naturally start to grow that way towards others. So it really always starts with yourself. That's why they say you cannot love someone else until you love yourself. You cannot treat others with loving actions until you treat yourself that way, until you believe that you are worthy of love. That I'm not afraid to take accountability, because I know that's the most loving thing I can do for myself and others. And that taking accountability shows that I'm not afraid to be fully human. I'm not afraid to say, yes, I am human. I get scared sometimes. I get lost. I get confused. I'm not perfect. But I'm trying. And I'm going to turn to love every time I get afraid. And I'm going to turn to love every time I make a mistake. And I'm going to turn to love every time I hurt someone. And their love is going to show me how to make it right if I can. Love is going to show me how to heal these wounds. Love is going to show me how to be a better person than I was yesterday. And love is going to teach me how to accept my imperfections and not see myself as broken and see myself as whole. So accountability, when you start doing this shadow work, you will feel a lot of guilt. You will feel a lot of shame. But I want to remind you, you're not meant to stay there. You have to keep digging. You have to dig a little bit deeper there. Keep going. Keep feeling it. It's going to come in waves. It's going to come in stages. You're going to think that you were done, and all of a sudden one day you're like, oh, something's purging. Something's coming up again. Not a one and done. It's a journey. But what a beautiful, magical journey it is. Don't let the fear stop you. The fear is the only thing holding you back right now. The fear is the only thing holding you back. You're strong enough. You're here, aren't you? And you'll come to find that you are an amazing, magical, beautiful soul. And you deserve all the love and forgiveness and grace that there is. That's the beauty of it. Grace is freely given to all. You don't have to earn it. You don't even have to believe it. You don't have to know it's there. It's given to you already. So give yourself permission to be honest with yourself. Give yourself permission to break down into a million pieces and feel all of it. And give yourself permission to show compassion and love to yourself, just like you would your own child or your best friend. So let me know if that helped anyone. I hope you all have a good day and an amazing week. And I love you. You can do this.